You rolling? What happened on 9/11 is a phony, and we've never learned the truth about 9/11. The whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips. And this is giving me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. Aaron, what do you think women's liberation was about? We, the Rockefellers, funded that. We funded women's lib. They do whatever they want to do. What we want doesn't matter anymore. It's their agenda, it's their plans that matter. They have all the money they want. They can make all the money they want. They have a machine that can make all the money. It's not about money. It's about control. It's about their vision of how they want to see the world. You hear George Bush saying democracy means freedom. No, democracy equals New World Order.
And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
This is the book of Amos 3, verse 7. Surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets. Call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom to those feel like men that scattered abroad, pushing the truth without sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, and also shalom to you very few sincere sisters. Right, to you all I say shalom. Brother number one, coming at you with a video, low one's edifying. And going to two videos, I already showed you one of them, but to this MOTB, man, because, scriptures talk about in the book of Habakkuk, for the visions yet for an appointed time, right? Meaning it's at a scheduled time that this major prophecy that we've been going into is going to play out. And it's only one camp that's going into this, right? Which is the camp of Great Millstone, So while I'm speaking on this, right, a lot of brothers have seen this video countless of times, when he's going into pretty much what we've been saying all along. These elites want a new world government, man. And this is a part of that new world government, right? Everybody's going to be implanted with a device, chipped. That's what I say. It's an NWO, right? New World Order, right? So we already seen about Mexico, right? If you have been watching, we know about Sweden, right? China, And so this other video I wanted to bring out was for Kenya, Excuse me. They're doing the same thing as well. Pretty much, they're for the babies, pretty much as soon as you're a newborn, they already talking about IDing you, right? Chipping you. So I'm going to go ahead and play that and get straight to the scriptures.
Hold up, Kenya's trying to do what now? I mean, I read this in a book once and it didn't turn out too well. Check this out.
Now let me just put it blatantly to you. The program targets...
Hold up, Kenya's trying to do what now? I mean, I read this in a book once and it didn't turn out too well. Check this out.
Now let me just put it blatantly to you. The program targets the birth of new babies. So once you have your baby, before your baby leaves the hospital, you no longer get a paper birth certificate, but then you get a digital one that is somehow implanted somewhere on somebody's body. Think about that. But have a listen to this.
The digital ID, which has been a big problem to us for a very long time, is now on a testing mode for the next 2 months. I have been assured by all the stakeholders, led by the ministries concerned, that by December we will be able to launch digital ID, where every Kenyan don't have to carry any paper, plastic or otherwise as an ID. They should be able to be identified digitally.
We're taking things that are genetically modified organisms and we're injecting them in little kids' arms.
Hold up.
right? And I want to say fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use, YouTube. Please don't, to clip this video. But hey, man, like we going to the book of Revelation 13 and 16, going to that Greek word for Mark. It just pretty much just shows what we've been saying is true, man. He said you won't have to, what did he say? I'm going to go back to him, Salakia.
Able to launch digital ID where every Kenyan don't have to carry any paper, plastic or otherwise as an ID. They
see, going back to that word convenient, right? And that's what people are going to see. Like, it's the conveniency. You have to worry about losing your credit card at the house, or you out in public, your wallet fell and card flew out, whatever, somebody stole it. No, everything being embedded inside that chip, inside your hand. So they're trying to pretty much start from the youth on up, or pretty much they're gonna start you from the hospital. They're gonna do everybody, but they're gonna have it even more easier for newborns. It's gonna be automatically chipped. And they're trying to make it seem as if it's beneficial and convenient, but the whole time they're just pushing an agenda, which the Lord tells us Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives not to adapt to, right? Let me go to that in the book of Habakkuk, right? Because it's that main prophecy that we waiting on, and we seeing it happen. It's getting closer and closer, man. For Mexico to come out the biometric, it's getting heavy. They saying all the civilians need to have this, right? Because that's what it's coming down to. It's like it. That's what it's coming down to, that they is mandatory. It's the book of Habakkuk 2, verse 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." Right? Meaning it's going to be made known. This is going to be the new way of living. You won't be able to buy, sell, or trade unless you have this device. Right? How they're going to do it now is pretty much to bring it out as a smooth thing, so-called convenient thing. Then after that, they're going to make it mandatory. Right? And let's go to that Revelation 13. And we're going to go into that Greek word Mark once again. Right? Just lining things up. Right? Making it plain upon tables, like in the book of Habakkuk, second chapter and the second verse has said, "Make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it." Right? Because we come at you with the correct message. And coming at you with the correct message should make you want to run towards, the safe tower, which is Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So you don't fall into that outward temptation, because it's going to come upon the whole world where you must have this in order to maneuver around. And I'm going to read this inside the NLT version, Revelation 13, verse 16. And he required, right? He required everyone. So it was mandatory. It's a mandatory thing to have. What is that to have that at the MOTB, the C-HIP? It says, "Small and great, rich and poor, free and bond." Slacking. Rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on their right hand or their forehead. Right? It says, "And no one could buy or sell anything without that mark." See? And no one could buy or sell anything without that mark. Because why are you required to have this for the updated life? This right here is the key to the updated life that's going on around you. When you look at it, look how you go to hotel rooms. You need a certain key. You can't just, it ain't just they give you like a little regular house metal key. No, you need a card with a chip on it, so you can double tap it for the most part. Sometimes you may have the code on there, but that just gradualism to that chip anyway. It says, "And no one could buy or sell anything without that mark, which is either the name, the beast, or the number of representing his name." So let's go back to verse 16 in the KJV, and let's get that word from Mark. Right, I just want to bring out the main point, how he said, with the kids being born, you don't have to worry about losing. You have to walk around with no plastic no stuff like that, their birth certificate and stuff like that. And this goes to show you that that's following to this word mark. So the first word is charagma, which we go over a lot, and it goes into a stamp and imprint and mark. When you imprint something, that means it has to go on the inside of something, right? And that's what this chip would do. It would go on the inside of the body. So it says as a badge of servitude, right? It says a scratch or etching. Even though you have to pierce through the skin, that would be an etching part. So the root word for charagma, right, will be charax, right, which would be an instrument, right, that was scratched through the skin, through the surface. And these right here are just instruments used to pierce through something, a palisade, instruments to pierce through the ground, excuse me. And it's just what's the word? The same way, what's the word? Another formal word saying how it appear this instrument that you're going to use for the charagma will pierce through your skin, like a syringe. Syringe will pierce through your skin so it can push out the chip. So the root word for charax would be grapho, right? In which we can go all the way down to 2B, and it says to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, write down and record, right? Because all these things will be on this small radio frequency identification chip, To delineate letters on a tablet, parchment, paper, or other material. Get that word. Oh, delineate. I said delineate. Okay. It said to. Okay, let's say so to describe. Okay, kind. So yeah, the main one I always bring out, like I said, is in 2B. To commit to writing things not to be forgotten. Write down, record. Right. So it's gonna be on record. So therefore, you don't have to use those things no more. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this on up, but definitely want to bring out this right here in the book of Ezekiel 33 and 33, because this is coming down the pipeline. Should we really say it's coming pretty fast? So okay. Each and every day they're getting closer and closer to this major prophecy coming down the pipeline. And we know that once this is on the table, it'll be too late pretty much. Because if you haven't repented and building yourself up to not take this, you're through. But this right here is the book of Ezekiel 33 and 33. But when all these terrible things, right in the NLT, so like but when all these terrible things happen to them, right, being thrown aside concentration camps, being idle, the outward temptations right here in front of your face, these folks torturing you to take the see up inside these concentration camps, right? And you're going to take it because why? You wasn't built up in the spirit, right? But it says when all these things, these terrible things happen to them, as they certainly will, then they will know a prophet has been among them. And not just to see him, tell them about the whole nine, the Jacob's trouble, the family hearing the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, misusing us servants to prophets. We telling you what's coming down the pipeline. That's why we making so many videos, especially on this subject right here, because we know it's getting closer and closer and closer, because look at the proof. The biometric is here. We understand when they say you will own nothing and be happy. Because in order to own something, you got to be hooked up to the system in these latter days, this new system. So, yeah, when all these things come to pass, you should know that a prophet have been among you to not take this C-hip. Right, so Lord willing, let's edify him to give our honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash. Shalom.